What's up guys, Jam here. Today we'll be covering chapter 11 of Arc 5. Before we get into things, please don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell so you don't miss out on future chapter summaries and more ReZero content. Chapter 10 ended with Subaru and the others making their way back to the hotel, and we saw that Regulus is in Pristella looking for a soulmate. Chapter 11 opens with Emilia reflecting on her encounter with the man in the hood. She was a bit uneasy about the whole situation and could not remember where she had met the man before. While walking back to the hotel, Subaru realized that the man could resist the spell of Emilia's cloak, which is supposed to prevent her from being noticed in crowds. Subaru whispers to Beatrice, trying to get her attention. Beatrice had already come to the same realization earlier. So you've noticed it, in fact. Emilia and Garfield haven't and are walking around oblivious, I suppose. Careless children, in fact. Subaru agrees with her, then adds, I don't think he used any trick, but that guy was just suspicious. The cloak's cognitive obstruction shouldn't be easily resisted. Beatrice agrees and comes to the conclusion that the man was either very skilled with magic or had a blessing. Subaru, who was still worried about the man, asks Beatrice if they should say something to Emilia. Beatrice tells him it's not necessary as the man didn't seem to have any malicious intent and was just a weirdo. Subaru takes Beatrice's advice but remains on high alert. While Subaru was lost in thought, Garfield tells him and Beatrice to pick up the pace, otherwise it'll be morning by the time they get back. Beatrice, pouting, calls Garfield an annoying smelly creature. Garfield laughs and mentions that he hears an argument near the hotel. Emilia, noticing the commotion, mentions that one of the voices sounds like Joshua. I see that we are just seeing the return of the simps, Kiritaka, Regulus, and now Joshua. We see that Joshua is blocking the way to the water plumage pavilion for a young man with purple hair. The young man keeps insulting Joshua and demands to see his master. I did not know that the ReZero world had Karens. Joshua refuses to call his his master, or brother because the man was too rude. Emilia yells at the two, telling them to stop. Joshua is thrown off guard and panics as he looks very immature. Emilia tells Joshua to calm down and to explain what's going on. The young man speaks up instead, explaining his side of the story. According to the man, Joshua wouldn't let him through and he was about to fight him as a result of this. If Emilia hadn't stopped the argument, I can imagine that Joshua's eyes would be the same color as his hair right now. Joshua, enraged, begins arguing with the man again and calls him a liar. Emilia sighs and looks to Subaru for help. Subaru stares at the young man and mentions that he had seen him before. The young man freezes as he remembers Subaru. That time with Reinhardt. That's all Subaru needed as he instantly remembers who the young man was. Chin, right? Wow, long time no see. Why are you here? The young man, angered by Subaru giving him an absurd nickname, corrects Subaru by mentioning that his name is Larkins. Emilia asks Subaru where he knew Larkins from. Subaru casually tells Emilia that he met him during a robbery, which freaks Emilia out. Beatrice chimes in, mentioning that Larkins sounds like scum. Larkins' face goes pale as he tries to save face. Wait, so maybe that did happen a long time ago, but let me explain why I'm here and let's forgive and forget, yeah? Subaru looks to Garfield and asks him what he thinks. Garfield smiles and says that he won't be getting any pity from him. Larkins, worried about getting jumped, gets on his knees and begs. It's the truth, I was summoned here. No, my employer was summoned here, but she said that she wanted to take a few laps around the city first, so I was sent to the inn to notify them. I'm not lying. Garfield wasn't buying any of it and continued to back Larkins into a corner until... Larkins, I was worried you wouldn't return. Was there a disturbance here? Subaru turned to the voice of the sound and was greeted by a young man with fiery red hair. It was Reinhardt. Reinhardt smiles and greets his old friend. It's been a while, Subaru. I didn't expect to see you here, although our meeting is thanks to Julius, who called me here. Subaru, still shocked by Reinhardt's presence, asks Reinhardt what he means that Julius called him here. Reinhardt is happy to explain and continues. Technically, it was Feld accepting Anastasia's invitation. I'm just here as her knight, and I didn't expect to see you here. Subaru and Reinhardt begin catching up as they hadn't seen each other in a year. Reinhardt notices Garfield staring at him and turns to Subaru. The one who's been staring at me this whole time, is he your friend? If so, I would be glad if you asked him to relax a little. Subaru, who had not realized Garfield's body language, tries to calm him down. Garfield, stop it. This is Reinhardt. He's my friend. He's not going to hurt you. I wouldn't allow it. Subaru had hesitated to call Reinhardt a friend, as the last time he saw him, he had blown him off. but Reinhardt didn't seem to take it to heart as he introduced himself as Subaru's friend to Garfield. Reinhardt then asks Garfield for his name. Garfield hesitates, then gives his name. Reinhardt compliments Garfield's name and tells him he is well trained for someone so young. Reinhardt continues by mentioning that he heard of their titles: Natsuki Subaru, the Half-Elf's Knight, and Garfield Tinsel, the strongest of shields. Subaru mentions to Reinhardt that he's glad to hear someone call him by his proper title for once. Reinhardt nods and mentions that he's heard some of the unpleasant ones. Reinhardt notices Beatrice standing right next to Subaru and asks if she is a spirit. Beatrice tells Reinhardt that he is correct and to keep his distance as he should understand why. Reinhardt nods in agreement and apologizes to her. Reinhardt turns to Emilia and they catch up with one another. Once they were done, Subaru changed the topic. Looks like we've done enough greetings, but did you call Larkin's name earlier? Emilia agrees with Subaru and asks Reinhardt if he knew him. Reinhardt tells him that they are correct and that he is actually working under Felt. Subaru was taken aback and did not know what to say. Reinhardt sighs and explains further. My apologies for failing to consider your feelings, especially since I was present in the alley where you two had an encounter. Afterward, a lot of things happened. When I told Felt, she demanded on the spot that I invited him over. Reinhardt also dropped the bombshell that Larkin's friends, who were with him the day they tried to rob Subaru, are also working under Felt, causing Subaru's jaw to drop even further. Reinhardt continues, mentioning how Felt wanted to walk around the city, so he sent Larkins to inform Anastasia of their arrival. Larkins, feeling confident with his superior here, mentions that everyone thought he was lying and that they all owe him an apology. Reinhardt cuts Larkins off, telling him that his words as a messenger lack mindfulness, making it hard for others to believe him. Larkins, angered by Reinhardt's comment, asks him whose side is he on. Reinhardt ignores Larkins and begins catching up with Joshua. After they were finished catching up, Subaru wondered what Anastasia was planning since she had invited both the Felt and Emilia factions. Reinhardt mentions that they too thought Anastasia was planning something and didn't expect to see Emilia and the others here. Reinhardt then turns to Joshua and asks him if there's something being planned. Joshua deflects by saying, "We'll see." Reinhardt looks at the hotel and is in awe as he has never seen a Kararagi-style building before. Subaru, curious as always, asks Reinhardt if he's never been to Kararagi. Reinhardt sighs and explains why. Yeah, I'm banned from going abroad because of fear of a breach of the treaty between each country. I even have to avoid the borders. We're close enough to Kararagi as is, so Pristella is pretty much the limit of where I can go. Subaru and Emilia were shocked and didn't know what to say. Subaru thought he was joking, but realized that Reinhardt was not laughing, so he changed the topic. We've been here for a while, and it's kind of tiring to just linger near the entrance for so long. How about we go inside, since Felt isn't here yet? Everyone agrees with Subaru and goes inside the hotel. Joshua guides them to the dining hall of the hotel and mentions that Anastasia is entertaining guests currently. Subaru asks Joshua if she invited more people. Joshua deflects and says he'll find out soon, whether or not he stares at him with a menacing gaze. Subaru, annoyed, fires back, telling Joshua his eyes aren't that scary. Joshua dismisses Subaru and tells him that he can understand him even if he raises his voice like a mob beast. Subaru sighs and lowers his voice. That's pretty harsh, and what kind of mob beast? Dog, rabbit, or whale? Pick one. Reinhardt, overhearing their conversation, whispers to Subaru, "Whale?" Subaru nods and whispers back to him. Yeah, that's right, that's the worst whale. There were so many times that I thought it was dying and it refused to die. Thinking back on it, it was such a miracle. Reinhardt, who was interested to learn more, asked Subaru if he could tell him about the subjugation of the whale later, as he has a history with it. Subaru is happy to do so. Joshua guides the group to a large door. We've arrived. Please wait in this tea room until their meeting ends. Joshua opens the door and asks the current guests in the room if they mind being with other guests. One of the guests speaks up and tells Joshua that they don't mind at all. Subaru, hearing the voice, realizes it sounds very familiar. As they walk into the tea room, Reinhardt speaks up. Honored grandfather. At the same time, Wilhelm had said, "Is that Reinhardt?" And that sums up chapter 11 of Arc 5. This was a great follow-up chapter to chapter 10. We are seeing more familiar faces such as Reinhardt and Wilhelm. We even saw the return of Larkins, one of the guys who tried to rob Subaru back in Arc 1. I would have never imagined that he would return in a future arc. But getting back on track, the return of Reinhardt and Wilhelm confirms that the Felt and Krusch factions will be involved in this arc. No sign of Pristella though. I wonder if she wasn't invited by chance. I wouldn't blame Anastasia, to be honest. It was interesting to note that Reinhardt has a history with the white whale, and it seems that he doesn't have that great of a relationship with his grandfather, Wilhelm. I wonder why that is. Hopefully we'll be able to find out more in this arc. I look forward to the upcoming chapters and potentially seeing our new questions get answered. Let me know if you guys have any theories, predictions, or overall thoughts about the chapter or going forward in the comment section down below. I'll be reading all of the comments, then responding to and discussing 3 to 5 comments in the next video. Alright, now to get into 5 comments of the last video's comment section. The first comment comes in from Sucker for Anime. They wrote, "Finally Regulus came. I was waiting for his encounter with Subaru so badly. Thanks for the video. I am so happy that I'm finally getting videos on ReZero. I'm glad that Regulus has shown up as well. He might be my favorite Sin Archbishop, but it's close between him and the Sin Archbishop of Gluttony. I'm looking forward to more of him in this arc. Also, no problem. I'm glad that you enjoyed my content." The second comment comes in from Vincius Pinto Duran. I apologize if I said that wrong. They wrote, "Is this your first time reading Arc 5? I have already read until Arc 7. I'm just waiting for TAP A to release the new chapters, and Arc 5 is one of my favorites. I love it. So many characters have development, and there's amazing fights and many emotional moments. I hope you like it as much as I do. Keep up with your good work." This is my second time reading Arc 5 actually. I skipped some of the chapters a year ago when I first read it because I really wanted to get to Arc 6. I'm caught up on the web novel now and I'm waiting for the new chapters to drop, just like you. I love Arc 5 for the same reasons, and I personally think it's better than Arc 4. I can't wait for Arc 5 to be animated. Also, thank you for your support. I'm glad that you enjoy my content. The third comment comes in from AnimeFan1234. They wrote, "Regulus is the best self-simp. Great summary, by the way." Thank you, Anime Fan. I appreciate the support as always. And yeah, you may be right. The other candidates are Kiritaka and Joshua, so there's not much competition. Also, Anime Fan, I did want to mention that for some reason your comments don't show up in the comments section and I had to find it through the notifications tab. So I apologize if I missed any of your previous comments or it seemed like I didn't respond on purpose. It's probably a YouTube glitch or something. The fourth comment comes in from Keem Clan. They wrote, "Too many simps in this story." That's why the title is ReZero, Simping in Another Life from Zero. The final comment comes in from SH. They wrote, "Oh gosh, our greedy boy is back and wants to steal Subaru's girl, but jokes aside, I'm kinda surprised actually. I mean, I didn't expect to see him this early in the story because he has final boss vibes. Looks like suffering is about to begin for Subaru and us." That is correct. Regulus is back, although I don't think he has as much final boss vibes compared to Pandora, which is why he's back so soon. But you are right, suffering is about to begin for Subaru. Would it really be ReZero without Subaru suffering in some kind of way? With that being said, thank you so much for the support as always. If you don't want to miss out on future Arc 5 summaries and more ReZero content, please consider subscribing and hitting the bell. Thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a great day. 震える心は悲しみを予感してる弱いままの自分逃げ場